We're back. You're listening to Executive Leaders Radio. This is your host, Herb Cohen. We'd like to introduce Peter Hecht, founding partner and executive vice president of sales, Magna Legal Services. Peter, what is Magna Legal Services? What are you guys doing?
Magna Legal Services is a litigation consulting and support company. We're headquartered in Philadelphia. We service the entire country. And the idea is to provide services from discovery to trial to lawyers, a garden variety of lawyers, governmental agencies, insurance companies, and Fortune 100 and 500 companies.
All righty. Where are you from originally? How many brothers and sisters, and where are you in the pecking order?
All right. Born in Brooklyn, raised in New Jersey off of Exit 9, one of three, and I'm the oldest. I have two sisters.
You're the oldest of three. All right. 8 to 14 years old. What were you doing?
Nothing great. No sports. Mostly hanging out with the guys on the block, looking to do things out in the woods and, pedaling along on our bikes and, doing little adventures.
How many kids in the neighborhood were you hanging out with?
There was a core group of about a half dozen of us.
Mm-hmm. Were you the oldest, the youngest? Where'd you fit into the group?
We were all generally the same age, so the same.
So you mentioned earlier when I was getting to know you in the green room that you felt a real sense of camaraderie with these six buddies. What's this desire for camaraderie have to do with your building this organization known as Magna Legal Services?
The camaraderie of my childhood really translates well to, the office place, because it's, I think of like when I come to work, it's like coming to a playground, back when I was a kid. I've got my coworkers and my partners, and I really view them in the same way as, friends and partners. And we have a lot of fun together.
Okie dokie. Jeffrey?
Peter, tell us about mom and dad. What do they do for a living when you were growing up as a kid?
My dad's a tax attorney, and my mom was a physical therapist, and then she decided to stay home and take care of the three of me and my two sisters.
Are you more like mom or dad, Peter?
I'm a hybrid. My mom is super creative. She's also an artist, and I'm a little bit of I got that go-go attitude from my dad. He's always focused on the job, or was. And
did you follow your dad in his practice? Did that lead you to be into the legal world as a profession?
No, actually, it was my wife. My wife is a court reporter.
Oh, is that right? How did that happen? How did she influence you going into this business?
I was working for AT&T and MCI at the time, and the telecom bubble had just bursted at that time, right around Y2K, and she, was telling me about an opportunity at one of the companies that she was freelancing for, and I chased it down.
Mm-hmm. Drew?
Peter, you mentioned in the green room when I asked who inspired you that it was really your dad. What do you mean by that? Like, why did dad inspire you so much?
He was just he was a guy that started from the bottom and worked his way to the top. And he was dedicated to the job. He was dedicated to the family too, but he was focused on the job, and he served as a great role model for me.
And when you're faced with a tough decision at the office, what do you hear your dad whispering in your ear?
I actually think, what would my dad do? Actually, that's what I think about sometimes when I'm in those tough situations. Usually it comes down to doing the right thing.
And I just had another question about hanging out with your buddies. Like, what would your buddies tell us about you that you were hanging out with back then?
I was an instigator. So I was kind of creating some of those, crazy things that we were doing out there, whether it was playing bottle ball or, setting up ramps and, for our bikes to do big jumps and stuff like that.
And was loyalty important amongst that group?
Yeah. I mean, summertime, we woke up in the morning, spent the entire day until our parents called us home, after dark. We were true to each other.
Do you bring that loyalty to the office and to your clients every day?
I think so, yeah. And our clients are number one.
Mm-hmm. David?
So can you elaborate for me a little bit on what you were like as a kid?
Yeah, I mean, I was certainly, a pain in the butt. I wasn't exactly, the greatest student. My folks had to pay a lot of attention to me to kind of get me focused on school and whatnot. But I was.
So it sounds like you have a lot of excess creative energy.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Ton of energy.
So how does that show itself today in Magna?
ABO, always be on. And that's really the culture at Magna Legal Services, that sense of urgency. It's go, go, go. And everybody, the people, my partners are like that. The folks that we hire, we look for those kinds of qualities where they just, that always be on attitude.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of sports do you do nowadays, or what do you do in your leisure time?
Selling is my sport. That's what I like. I like to win in the sales space.
Well, what do you? I mean, what do you? I mean, you're telling me that business is everything to you?
It's my hobby. I don't have anything else. My family and Magna.
Your family and Magna, and you keep filled by that, and selling is your sport.
Absolutely, it's competitive, and I like to win. I don't like to lose.
Mm-hmm. How many? So at home, you have any kids?
Yeah, I have 3 kids.
How old are they?
I have a 20-year-old boy, a 17-year-old girl, and a 14-year-old boy.
Similarity between being a dad and being a CEO or a co-founder of a business.
ABO, always be on.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
What's that?
What do you mean?
They keep me on my toes. I mean, you have to be constantly on with them. My kids are pretty active. They're all like me. They've got all that crazy energy. I'm fortunate in the fact that they're 2 out of the 3 are pretty big athletes, so they're able to channel that energy in a positive direction. So it's fun to watch and be part of that.
And at home, how do you split up responsibilities? Who runs the house?
Oh, but my wife is the CEO, the CFO. She's most definitely in charge.
So, what's the best part of your job?
Working with the clients. I love the hustle. I hate COVID-19. I hate I hate the virtual space, even though there's some benefits to it. But I was a guy that was on an airplane, 2-3 times a week, going across the country. And I love that action. I love being face to face with clients and building relationships and providing solutions and being out there. So I'm really glad that it's coming to an end.
Why do you're the founding partner? Do you have partners in the business now?
Yeah, I have 3 other business partners.
Why do you have partners? Why have partners?
I don't think that we could have achieved the success that we have today, without our partnership. We each bring something different to the table, and we energize each other. And the good thing about partners is partners are like bosses, and it makes you check in and have that reality check before you pull the trigger on something.
So you like having other opinions around you?
Sometimes. When they agree with me, mostly.
I think you tend to like diverse opinions. Something tells me that's competitive spirit in you. Who's got the next question?
Peter, what are you most proud of? What are the things that you've done? What are you most proud of in your life?
Outside of my children, Magna Legal Services is I would say is my greatest achievement. With my building it with my partners.
And what lights your fire when you walk in the door and you look around? You have 450 employees. What lights your fire about what you're doing?
The sense of the unknown. What's going to be next. I wake up like that before I walk out the door. I've already got the butterflies in my stomach. What's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of an adventure.
So, in the world you live in, is there more opportunity yesterday, or is there more opportunity tomorrow?
Tomorrow. I mean, we're just serial entrepreneurs. We're constantly thinking about different ways to disrupt our industry, and we listen to our clients, and we get a lot of our new ideas from our clients themselves.
Mm-hmm. So you really enjoy conquering the mountain, taking the mountain with the other guys, with your teammates.
Oh yeah.
It's like business is really a team sport with you, isn't it?
Yeah, that is correct.
That's the camaraderie around, as it was showing up as a kid, where, the camaraderie with the other guys in the neighborhood, where it didn't sound like you wanted to dominate everybody. You had a bunch of creative ideas of where to go. My bet is that's probably what you're doing with the team nowadays. You're coming up with new ideas all the time.
Yeah, it's like an idea factory. So for sure, we get together and we hang out and we come up with some new stuff.
What's the website address of this organization?
MagnaLS.com.
Let me have that one more time.
MagnaLS.com. magna-legal.com.
We've been speaking with Peter Hecht, founding partner and executive vice president of sales, Magna Legal Services. We'll be back in a moment right after this quick break. You now can recognize